Hello guys, it's Susanna here. Well, I'm back to the next part of my wildlife and flora and doing the lavender. I finished doing that and I started on here, did that. I'm probably going to do the same here and here. I just sort of stitched it down here. Here I wanted to keep that little frilly bit, so I did a backing stitch. Now I just did a running stitch. So I've got to do a little bit more on here. I've pinned it down for now. But today I'd like to start on doing some bullion knots. Here was that little hole that I had there. I just stitched it with some thread to try and, so I wouldn't go anywhere. A stitch in time saves 9, as they say. So anyway, I'll just move some of these bits and pieces. And I should be in camera pretty well, right? Yep. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I did lavender, very basic lavender, when I made that lavender bag for the girls, and I said if I was going to teach on my channel I would do bullion knot. So I've got this book, A to Z of embroidery stitches. This is my go-to, and it has the bullion knot. So they're really good. It teaches you step by step. So you start off, say, okay, I have that there. Here's A, okay. Then, like you start off A, you go down to the bottom, which is about what you need, and then you go next to A. Okay, so we're going to be needing to wrap about as many times as it would need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, see that width there needs to be about what the width is there. So hang on to that, pull it through. Not going to do it too tight. Still hanging on, and then it pulls down. And I'm just using the thread that you got. So I'm starting with the dark, and I'm going to do dark down the bottom because that's where they are, and then the lighter ones on the top because that's where the bottom, it's got the shadow. And there you go, and that fills it. So go back to the other side, come up here. That's your A. B, go next to it. Okay, hold that underneath your finger. I'm going to pull that so it doesn't get stuck. It's good to have a needle that's the same width all the way along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm thinking it's a little bigger, so maybe 7, 8. Okay, hang on to that, pull it through, and it may seem a little loopy and everything when you get down to this end, but it's all good. We just pull it, gather it over, oh, there we go, that's it. And then put it down here and go up to the next one. And there we go. So fills it in pretty quick down. And I'm thinking it's probably going to take maybe 7 or 8 again because it's quite a long one. So this finger underneath that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get the thumb, push that up. Sometimes it can be, you probably have wound it too tight, so yeah, there we go. Pull. Always looks a little gathered, but you just keep pulling until it, there we go, hits that bottom. It'll come down Then we're going to go here. So I'll probably need maybe 6 for that one. So I'm just going to go with the starting at the bottom. The reason why I'm starting at the bottom because I happen to have the dark. If you've got the light first, start at the top. So I'm going from dark to light. So I reckon I'll probably only need 6 for that one. Not as much. Okay, we do need 2 before I start because it's got 2 threads. Get the old spit and polish, or you can get wax, probably better. Wax would work well, which is this beeswax. Actually, probably not a bad idea. Put that on there. Get a bit of wax. Yep. There we go. That'll work. Now, make it a bit slipperier. Okay, make sure that that bit's not too long. That finger, that next to it, finger underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it's not as long. Hang on to that, push that up. That seems all loopy, but you just keep pulling. And down you go. And then I go up here. I'm going to do 6 on that, even though it might be a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to go down, yeah, so 6 will be good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on to it. So the secret is not doing it too tight, and it looks like a mangled mess, but just keep pulling, and then we go down here and then up. It's filling in beautifully. Okay. So how are we all going? It happens pretty fast. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, hang on to that. Push that up. And the secret is not hanging on, not wrapping it so it's too tight. And sometimes it feels like it's not working, but you just got to put it into place. And the beauty of having this variegated thread is it's going to slowly change colour over the top. Oh. Careful, oh, not to get a knot in it. Do not want a knot. Okay, what I'm going to do, and I think that might have to go undone. Oh, good. May have gotten a little bit of a knot in it. Oh well, I'll still work with it. Now if you've got a you know, like a phone like what I've got here, you just push in and you can go in a little closer just while I'm doing this, because I don't want to go too much closer because I'll go out of screen, but you can, if you're watching it on the phone, you can go in closer. So you did the wax and it still separates on you. Okay, let's hope that's going to go through okay. Down to the bottom next to it, finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I won't do it too tight because I think there's a knot. Yep, there is. Keep pulling it. I'll probably do 1 full one. Looks a bit mangled. We'll pull. There we go. Okay. next to it. It's starting to get a little bit lighter, which is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not too tight. I'll probably end up using all that's left over from when I did it around here. So as you can see, that's variegated and gotten light and then gotten darker again. So okay, seems a bit loopy. That's okay. What I might do is I'm going to, when I finish doing this, is I'm probably going to do finish doing this, and then I'll do a stem stitch going all the way from the top to the bottom. So there we are. This might be less. Yeah, I thought that's where that's in there. I'm thinking probably maybe 5. One less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Not too tight. Make the perfect things to fill. I might go back, go down, and we need to fill this one. Yep. I think what I had on there was probably a good amount. I reckon we're going to fill this. So if you don't know how to do a bullion knot before, now you will after you've watched me do it. 2, 3, 4. It's not very big. I'm just going to do a small 4. Okay. I've been working on the doll's house, so I went and got a pedicure. Because I had glue and all that kind of stuff, and then, you know, of course I probably should have picked a clear colour, but I don't mind the colour. I just don't like nail polish too bright, but yeah, because it can be very distracting. But my nails definitely needed some work, because you know, you use super glue and that gets on your skin and on your nails, and yeah, and then the sides of it ends up peeling, and so I needed a good manicure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think maybe 5. I'll do an extra one. Okay, so I will do the others off camera. So I'm going to do 2. Now this top part I think is definitely more of a lighter one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely. So I might even grab some of the light if I haven't got enough on here, and I may fill it in with satin stitch. So I do this one, getting smaller and smaller. This is why you really don't need to paint it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do now, I'm probably going to get out, so I'm going to pull that down, start here, and then I am going to do a stem stitch all the way down, and then get another bit of, I've got, see, that's going to be green on the bottom there. Not stem stitch. Yeah, it is a stem stitch. Just to feel like it's got, you know, they're coming off something. Yep. Come on. There we go. Needs to be a bit more even. And that lighter colour, which is on here, see it starts off light. I'm going to wind it out until I get light, and then that needs to be on the top, which I may satin stitch in. Okay, we'll keep going. Just needs that bit of something so it looks like they're actually growing off something. So go down. Oh, there's a bit of a knot on the bottom there. Gonna have to go back over the here and maybe cut that. Knot that off. And I'll probably do the same on the other one. That's what happens when you get loops. So go here, go to where the end is, knot that off, and then I can cut those long loopy bits, because you don't want to leave them open and for the bullion not to come apart. Okay, so cut off this bit and then these little bits here. Okay, looking good. See, this is the underneath. So all the stitching that I'm doing on here is going to hold that down. There you go. I think it looks really good, really nice, and it's a bit dark on the bottom, lighter on the top. Even these ones, I'm probably just going to do a stem stitch and maybe French knots on that, because these are the bits, you know, when you get, that's a full lavender, whereas these is ones that's, you know, it's been drained off or pulled off. So I guess, look, we need light, not a great deal of light. Okay, we'll start it here. There we go. And get 2. And do a knot on the bottom. This is the good part of having variegated, is you can have, you know, the different colour threads in the same lot. You just got to work it in, especially when it's something like a flower, which can work its, you know, way up. Probably not that great that it's light, but at least you can see it. Okay, we are going to cut this. Yeah, we need the light on the bottom. There we go, because that's the bit that we're going to be using. So now we come here. I think these 2 could be a bullion knot, the 2 light ones, and then I will fill that in. So maybe about 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The bullion knot is it's great because it's nice and quick. You know, you've got yourself a decent size fill-in job without having to have too much work for it. Okay, it goes down and then up. Okay, and then do the same for this one, and then the others I will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. There we go. And then come out here. Okay. Oop, hope my head didn't hit it. And then we're going to do just a bit of a satin stitch to fill it in. Which is just a real, stitch that's close together. I think having a bullion knot there would be a little bulky. Okay. At least on this one we are learning a few different stitches if you haven't done those. And I remember when I first did bullion knots, I'm like, oh, it took me a bit to get used to it. So persist. So even if you want to practice, you can. Okay, now, so just finish that off, and I might use this. So what I'm going to do, because it's lightish, I will start on the top of the other one, because there's a little bit of a light colour, and if I think it's not light enough, I will, because there's 6 strands on that, I might do this or these two in this and then come back to that, which I think I may do. Yeah. Oh, that's fairly light still. Okay, bingo. Now, what we're going to do with the leaves, so I might do a satin stitch here. So I might just take that off. So what are we going to do? I think I'm going to use that one, because I think that's the one that I had with it. Needed to be a little bit darker. This is more the, the colour of this fabric, but I wanted the leaf here to be a bit darker, and it's more one solid colour. You can probably get a variegated if you wanted to. What have I got? I've got the variegated one that I used, if you wanted to do it that would work, but I think I like a little bit of a solid colour. So maybe I can do the solid colour as the stem and that bottom part and some of the leaves, and then come back and do leaves in maybe this colour as well. So maybe do the solid colour sort of down the bottom a little bit and some of the top leaves in that, because it works. So that way you get a bit of variation, which is quite nice. I think I'm going higher and higher. There we go. 23 minutes. Okay, so what we'll do, because that's underneath there. Okay, we are going to just fill it in using a satin stitch. So we're doing a fair bit of stitching in this one. If I feel it's a little bit gappy, you can always go back. So and I'm doing it on a bit of an angle. You do it how you want to do it. Yeah, I'm just going to have to figure out how I'm going to do this butterfly. I'm actually thinking, really quite like this colour. Be nice to bring out a bit of yellow next to the purple, I think. Okay, so we go down and then come up here. going to do a stem stitch because it's a stem. Okay, and stem stitch is always just that little bit thicker. So this is a purl 8, and I honestly don't mind if we see, but stick right in the middle of this. I don't mind if we see a little bit of the brown. It sort of adds shading. So I'm going into the middle. See a little brown either side, I'm okay with that. I quite, you know, adds a bit of extra colour and, you know, shading. So it's all good. So if you stick into the middle, you should be right. Okay. See, it makes it thicker. It's sort of like a rope type of stitch. Okay. I've noticed a few of you have bought the new, you know, blocks 4 to 6. So the next one we're going to be doing in December is the wren. So yeah, I've left that in the pack, and then the other 2 I've wrapped up so that you can open them in January and February. So, and I've also got the snail and mushroom on individual sale as well. So I can still sell them, you know, the parts 1 to 3 as a 3 lots or individually. So now we are going to go all the way down because it does go down, and then I will figure out how am I going to do these leaves because they're quite skinny and long. Oh. Sort of almost comes into the leaf. There we go. Now, some of these leaves on the bottom, what I do need to do probably is come up here from here and go down, and then do, I think it's good to do all the satin stitch first. It seems to have, sometimes when you do this, see how it goes all frayed? You need to cut it off a little bit because it catches, and that's where you get knots. Okay, down we go. You could almost do a lazy daisy stitch and then come and fill it in. We'll see. Maybe on the small ones you could, but on the bigger ones I don't know. So I'll go to here and stop it there, and then come back up here because some of the bottom ones will do in that darker colour. I reckon we can just basically fill it in. So I'd go on the sides a little bit. So you're doing a satin stitch, but you're doing it on a bit of a slant. There we go. It fills in pretty quick when you do it that way. Okay. So it gets twisted, it drives you nuts. Okay. I won't probably do too much more. So for the next week, hopefully we've got the lavender stitched. Just wanted to show you. Okay, so we'll go up top there. It goes underneath. Start on the slant again and work your way down. You don't want to go too close because you don't want them to blob into each other, if you know what I mean. So that's why seeing some of the brown isn't a bad thing. So if you just go in a bit from the brown, just there. Okay. There we go. It's got a fairly long bit. It's thread painting basically. Okay, well, it needs probably another stitch just here. Not quite enough. Okay, then we're going to start here. And we'll go on a bit of an angle again. So that's the type of stitch that you do on the bigger ones. But I'm thinking on the smaller, you might be able to do a lazy daisy like these ones. These ones here. Oh, seem to have moved. Hope I've been in camera. Yeah, see, it's got quite a good thick stem there. And then there we go. So when you come to here, do just a stem stitch with the, you know, your darker colour. You know, fill that in satin, maybe you could probably do a French knot on the top of that. That in that colour, the, you know, the green, tiny little bullion knots, and then satin stitch like you've done here, and then these to do a stem stitch and then French knots, and that can be done in the green as well. And so if you want a bit of this colour, which is that one, I was thinking maybe these top 2, 3, yeah, just do maybe that one in that green again, and then those 4 in this other colour, sort of bit of variegation in colour. So next week I'll be back we've got to do something here, and I've got some yo-yos. I had these in my stash that were, you know, joined together, and I've got these 2. I do like that, and might go over there, but I've got this and I've got this, and I'm going to somehow use this. So, you know, maybe put a bit of colour or something in there, and then next week I'll do the butterfly as well. So I was going to have this here just to feel that. Still might, because it looks nice with that. And we could also make yo-yos out of this fabric, but I think it needs something, and I quite like it. I haven't used a lot of it here. I might just you know, fold it up and have a fair bit, maybe like a rectangle or whatever, sort of coming. Might be a bit big. And then having this over the top. I like having the colour underneath. It really fills that. And then we can probably put a button or a yo-yo, or I quite like this too. See, it's got that. That might look nice there. So we'll have a bit of a play next week with this empty section that needs to be filled. Okay guys, thank you very much. I will catch you in the next video, which is probably going to be continuing with my Christmas, because I haven't really done anything since I left Corinne, so I've got to do another video of that. Okay, here we go. I'll show you up close. I think it looks rather pretty. So bullion knots is definitely the way to go in my little book here. No worries. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.